Okay, so in the last lecture video, technically it has got stopped. So I'm continuing from the same point, and that I was discussing about the possibility for growth as one of the factors of motivation, in which I just told you that possibility for growth exists in the same way as Maslow's self-actualization, and it is related to the personal growth, which can be uh, resulted in a professional growth, and it increased opportunities to develop new skills and techniques and gaining professional knowledge. The fourth motivation factors can be the responsibility. Responsibility means both the responsibilities held by the individual and the authority, and this granted to the individual in their role. People gain satisfaction from being given the responsibility and authority to make decisions. Conversely, a mismatch between responsibility and level of authority negatively affects job satisfaction. Another factors can be the recognition on the job. When an employee receive praise or reward for reaching goals or producing high quality work, they receive recognition. Negative recognition involves criticism or blame for poorly done work or job. So if you are being recognized for the work or the task that you have done and the effort that you have put into the task that you have completed, you feel yourself motivated. So that is an internal drive which will give you a kind of satisfaction. Next can be the achievement. Achievement, especially positive achievement, can involve, for example, completing a difficult task on time, solving a job related problems, or seeing positive results from one's work. This can be the achievement, and if it is achievement, will lead to a kind of motivation. It will be a motivating factor for an employee. On the other hand, negative achievement can also be there. We generally include failure to progress at work or poor job related decision makings. So if it is positive, it will act as a motivator. If it is negative, it will somehow demotivate you. So these are some of the important motivation factors that Hasberg's contended and found it related to the internal or intrinsic factors for an employee in the organization, or intrinsic factors of a motivation. Next is hygiene factors. Hygiene factors. Hygiene factors are those which decrease job satisfaction, as I told you in the introductory concept. Hasberg's, Mosner, and Sinderman use the term hygiene as medical hygiene, which operates to remove health hazards from the environment. Hasberg's also states that hygiene factors are extrinsic to the job and function in the need to avoid unpleasantness. Hygiene factors, rather than relating to the content of the job in itself, tend to relate to contextual factors such as interpersonal relations, salary, company policies, and administration, relationship with supervisors, and working conditions. Let's discuss each one of the hygiene factors separately in detail. So, for example, the first is interpersonal relations. Interpersonal relationship involve the personal and working relationship between an employee and his supervisors, subordinates, and peers. This can manifest in, for example, job-related interactions as well as social discussion in both the work environment and during informal break times. So, interpersonal relationship between and among the employees in a particular group can be the one of the hygiene factors. Salary is another hygiene factors. Salary includes wage or salary increases and negative unfulfilled expectations of wage or salary increases. So all these are hygiene factors. It is not your motivators. It will not give you internal motivation or motivation to work. Rather, it is a factor which maintains your quality of life. Third is company policies and administration. Company policies and administration includes factors such as the extent to which company organization and management policies and guidelines are clear or unclear. If it is clear, then it will maintain your quality of work. If it will be unclear, then it will somehow disturb the functioning of an employee in the organization. For example, a lack of delegation of authority, vague policies and procedures, and communication may lead to job dissatisfaction. Another one is supervision. Supervision involves and implies judgments of the competence of or incompetence and fairness or unfairness of the supervisor or supervisor. For example, this could include a supervisor's willingness to delegate responsibility or teach and their knowledge of the job. Poor relationship and management, poor leadership and poor management can decrease job satisfaction. So, in the organization, your supervisor, your leader, your work, the work that you are doing under someone, the supervisor or leader can be your motivator or dissatisfier. Okay, if it is not congenial for an employee to work under one's supervision, it will increase job dissatisfaction. Next is working condition. Finally, if you will see, the work condition in which you are working as an employee involve the physical surroundings of the job and whether or not they are good or poor. Factors leading to a good or poor workspace could involve the amount of work, amount of space, ventilation, tools, temperature, and safety. All these includes your work conditions. If these things at your workplace is congenial and if it is comfortable, then certainly your work performance will be improved and your working life will be maintained and hygienic. Okay. So if you will see the two-factor theories, if I give you the example of this theory, then first you can I will discuss with you in a case of nursing. Empirical studies of job satisfaction in nurses, such as those conducted by Castle et al. And Jones, support Hasberg's motivation hygiene theory by asserting that hygiene factors are less important to job satisfaction, while motivational factors lead to job satisfaction. In one such a study, Cassell et al. In 2005 used Hasberg's theory as a framework for qualitative studying job satisfaction among 147 nurse practitioners in the United States. Cassell et al. Noticed a Coelbel, Fuller, and Misner study that suggested that nurses often become nurse practitioners because of dissatisfaction with their staff nursing position and desire to use their abilities to their fullest potential, to fullest what Hasberg could call motivation factors. In particular, nurses become nurse practitioner, according to Cassell, because of the role's challenge and autonomy. The researchers devised the Misner Nurse Practitioner Job Satisfaction Scale. This is a 44-item questionnaire that focuses on 6 of Hasberg's motivational and hygiene factors, such as collegiality, autonomy, professional, social, and community interaction, personal growth, time and benefits, and compensation. The study described which factors were the most strongly associated with satisfaction and dissatisfaction, and found that salary and administrative policies in particular influence nurses' job dissatisfaction. So one study I have quoted in case of nurses, taking this motivation hygiene factors or Hasberg's theory, two-factor theory. Another example or area of research that has been conducted, say for middle-level manager job satisfaction in India, in Indian context. Although heavily critiqued, Hasberg's motivation hygiene theory still greatly influences current methodology, particularly in several modern Asian workplace studies. So this was the conclusion given by Robbins and Judge in 2013. One study conducted by Vijay Kumaran and Saxena in 2015 conducted one such study in India, attempting to address the controversy over whether monetary compensation motivates poor hygiene. The researchers used a questionnaire to ask 144 mid-level managers about what factors influence their job satisfaction most. Untimely, the researchers concluded that job satisfaction was determined most by job content, organizational context, and rewards and working condition, with monetary compensation as a separate factor altogether. So these are the two area of examples that I have described. One are conducted on nurses in United States and one on middle-level managers in India. Now come to the critical evaluation of this theory, because this theory, as you may find in any other theory, that theory is generally being criticized on one or another ground. So if you will see the critical evaluation, the two-factor theory has not been well supported by research. Though number of researches have been conducted and many researches supported, but not most of the researches supported two-factor theory. Generally, criticism of the theory focus on Hasberg's methodology and assumptions. Critics have also noted that if hygiene and motivational factors are equally important to a person, both should be capable of motivating employees. And this is the criticism given by Robbins and Judge in 2013. Another critics says that Husberg conducted his formative motivation theory research at a time when organizations tended to be rigid and bureaucratic. As organizations shifted away from focusing on mass production and toward innovation, new theories of motivation, such as those based on behaviorism, evolved. And this criticism was given by Bassett, Jones, and Lloyd in 2005. A large number of replication studies emerged following Husberg's result. Those using Husberg's methodology, the critical incident framework, were consistent with his original results, while research that used methods such as surveys supported the traditional idea that job satisfaction and dissatisfaction exist on the same continuum. And this was also the views given by Bassett, Jones, and Lloyd in 2005. Soon after Motivation and Work's publication, Vroom in 1964 offered a notable critique of this phenomena. What he said, that people would naturally be inclined towards protecting their egos when asked to recall good and bad work moments. So, attributing good moments to their personal achievement and capability and bad moments to the work. They will blame the work. So, in Husberg's original qualitative study involving about 200 participants may have been biased when thinking about time in the past when they felt good or bad about their jobs. Nonetheless, critics struggled to grapple with how Husberg's methodology produced results with such consistency. Nonetheless, critics continued attributing Husberg's results to factors such as social desirability bias and personality bias. Okay? Now, after the critics, now the question is that how can we use the Husberg's two-factor theory? Okay? How we can use Husberg's two-factor theory? There are three modes or three ways we can use Husberg's two-factor theory. Okay. Or three steps that we can use. First is evaluate the work. Evaluate morale in your work environment to help you identify motivating and hygiene factors. Observe how employees interact with one another and find a correlation between their attitudes and the quality of work they produce. Okay. For example, if you noticed the option to telecommunicate increased productivity, then you can conclude that company policy is a hygiene factor. Pinpointing what influences your team's motivation can help you customize an improvement plan to best benefit the company you represent. Okay. So first is that evaluate the work. You will get to identify these factors. Second is address hygiene factors. How can you do that? Create a plan to address hygiene factors that impact the workplace. For example, you can revisit company policies and contemplate how you can change them to meet employees' needs. Consider implementing training programs for managers to learn how to supervise team members effectively and support them during projects. You can also assess the organizational budget to see if increasing salaries are possible. Review your communication patterns with the workforce to better assure them about the security of their jobs. Okay. The third way through which you can use the Husband's theory is reinforce motivators. Make the motivating factors more prevalent in the workplace to boost satisfaction among employees. For example, you can promote training and development opportunities to show employees the company is committed to their professional growth. Considering offering internal employees, consider offering internal employees the chance to seek higher level positions before expanding the job search externally. You can also design a protocol for acknowledging an individual's achievement policy. Okay. So this is what Husband's theory is. We can also do one thing in this class, that we can compare okay. So we will stop here today, and I will come up with another video, another lecture with another topic. Okay, another theory. Most probably we will be discussing the McClellan theory and need achievement theory in the next class. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining this class. Thank you.